What's up, guys? Jay, MorninAfterKill, and I'm back here on Borderlands 2. And today, I kind of want to talk to you guys about the difference between Borderlands and Destiny, since it seems that there's a lot of people excited for Bungie's new loot and shoot game coming. And a lot of people inside the Borderlands community seem kind of torn right now between the game that started it all and the AAA Goliath competitor aiming to take its place at the top of the first-person loot and shoot genre that everybody here loves so motherfucking much. So, let's go ahead and get one thing out of the way. Borderlands fans are loyal. Borderlands fans are extremely loyal. Like, almost so much to a fault, because Borderlands fans are very protective of their game and genre, and you got Bungie invading their game space right now, and it's very easy to understand why there's so many people worried about another game looming on the horizon in the same quote-unquote genre. Now, I know I don't use a face cam, but I'm doing the air quotes genre. That's it. Because honestly, I don't really think that Borderlands fans have anything to worry about with Destiny. And why? Because Destiny and Borderlands, in my opinion, are barely in the same category. And honestly, this might be an unpopular opinion, but when you take two games and you compare them, honestly, I would expect to see some glaring similarities between each game, but I'm just not seeing it here, because I went into Destiny expecting to get a comparable experience to Borderlands. You know, for the first few hours I was playing, I was very disappointed. Now, a few game-breaking glitches aside that I have encountered in the first few hours of the alpha, I went and gave it back another shot, and I started a new character, and I wiped the idea of Borderlands out of my head, and I went back in with a fresh, open mind. And what did I find? I found a game that's very early in alpha, but it's showing some amazing progress at becoming not only just a great game, but a great game that can coexist alongside of Borderlands, because it's not necessarily a loot and shoot extravaganza. It's not what Borderlands fans have come to know as a quote-unquote first-person looter-shooter. And in fact, in my opinion, the only thing that Destiny and Borderlands actually have in common are the fact that they're in the first-person perspective with equipable and shootable guns. I mean, once you walk through the first-person door, that's where they part. Borderlands goes to the right, Destiny goes the other way, and they kind of meet up for lunchtime. You know, they sit at the same table. They're not going to go and sit at the same table as, like, you know, over there with WoW or COD, even though it's kind of like a mix between WoW and COD. Remember, Destiny is still very early alpha, but a lot of the things that I've seen are very foreign to me. And, like I just said, because it's kind of like COD mixed with WoW, this is a very MMO-centric style games, and because I'm not very well-versed in MMO-style games, I've never actually played an MMO in my life, and one of the really big promises I made to my girlfriend when starting YouTube is she said, I don't care how much you YouTube, how much time you spend playing games, I don't want you getting immersed in the World of Warcraft-style games, so no MMOs, and that was kind of my promise, and kind of breaking my promise to her. But, you know, usually I stay away from MMO-style games, but that's the one thing that really kind of scares me about Destiny is a game that's set up to grind, and that's gonna be the name of the game. Now, I know Borderlands is set up to grind too, but in Destiny, the grind to get good gear is centered around the fact that you take your gear with you into PvP and you wreck fucking face with it. that's a little gameplay loop hook that's got me hooked, and it's gotta keep people playing Destiny. The multiplayer in Destiny so far is top notch, and I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect for Bungie? Top notch motherfucking multiplayer, and it's very balanced so far even though it's early alpha, I mean, we didn't see a lot of the gear being stacked up, whether or not a level 4 character can remain competitive against a level 20 character, but knowing that Halo and Bungie are a fan of skill-based matchmaking, I would seem to think that Bungie knows exactly what you're doing. But the fact that you could use your gear that you worked for in the single-player campaign to dominate people in the multiplayer crucible all night long, and that right there, that's what Bungie has finally done. Bungie has taken a first-person multiplayer shooter and answers the same question that every first-person shooter player asks when they reach the max level. What now? What do I do now to keep this game fresh? And usually, games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, they would give you new weapons, or they'd give you new maps to keep things fresh. Well, Bungie went in the other direction. Instead of just giving you DLC to keep the game fresh, what they're gonna do is to keep you going back into single player in Destiny to find better gear and keep improving your character for PvP fun. Now, it's also the same on the other spectrum for Borderlands fans. One of the biggest questions that people ask me is, how do you still play Borderlands? What do you do when you beat the game? Well, we farm bosses for gear. And most people are like, well, what do you do with that gear? Remember those bosses that we beat to get this gear? Yeah. Kind of use the same gear that we got from these bosses to beat these bosses faster. They're like, oh, so do you get better gear? No. Kind of just throw all the loot away. They're like, so what's so fun about it? Like, I don't know. That's a question that Gearbox still doesn't know to this day, is what makes Borderlands so fucking fun. And I think it's the over-the-top action, the silliness of Borderlands, the fast-pacedness of Borderlands, that even though the game gets kind of repetitive, the silliness of Borderlands keeps it lighthearted, keeps it fresh, and keeps new things happening every time you play the game. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you were playing Destiny and you got shot by a Devil Walker and you did a ragdoll halfway across the world, you'd be pretty pissed. You'd be like, that's not what I wanted inside of this game, because Destiny is a little bit more serious and takes itself. It's got a drier, slower paced tone to it than what Borderlands. So, I mean, honestly, it's kind of similar, but kind of similar in the way that Battlefield and Call of Duty is similar. I mean, I would say Borderlands would be the Call of Duty because, you know, it's fast-paced, it's arcadey, and sometimes just a little bit silly, even though, you know, Call of Duty, the silliness is in the fact that people still play it. And, you know, Destiny would be more along the lines of, like, Battlefield, where even though it's still a military shooter, it's completely different than its cousin over there, Call of Duty, and yeah. we're not going to talk about Call of Duty or Battlefield, because I don't want that fucking goddamn discussion in my goddamn comments down below, or any goddamn console wars either, because let's stay away from that. But Bungie has managed to make a first-person multiplayer game with a campaign that not only you actually want to play, but you have to play to keep the multiplayer fresh and keep yourself competitive all year long against everybody else that's playing and leveling up in the Crucible. So, honestly, I expect this game to appeal more towards Halo and Call of Duty fans than Borderlands, because this game is PvP central, and it has a very dry and serious tone to the game. We've already gone over that. I mean, you can dance in the game, it's pretty fucking cool, but it's more of a celebration / talk, where you fuck people up in multiplayer. Like I said, it's multiplayer central, so, I mean, sure, it has loot, and the loot is very rare and hard to find, and the loot chests in the general overworld don't really respawn for a few days after you open them. It's nothing really like Borderlands, honestly. So, I mean, if you're looking for a fast-paced, action-packed game with tons of loot and silly, over-the-top jokes, hijinks, and antics, well, this isn't the game for you. The game you're looking for is coming out later this year in October, called Borderlands Pre-Sequel. But that doesn't mean that Destiny is a bad game. It just means that Destiny is a different style game within the same quote-unquote genre. So don't let me take you away from the fact of Destiny being very much a first-person shooter RPG, but it just seems the way that this game plays, that it's more centered based on multiplayer PvP. And judging by their past successes with Halo, it very much feels like Bungie has a grip on what they're doing and will succeed on giving everybody what they're looking for. And if what you're looking for isn't in this game, then Gearbox has the game that you're looking for. But I don't see no reason why both of these games can't coexist at the same time within the same general community. I just think that Destiny is a little bit more... Why are you so serious, bro? It's a little bit more serious than Borderlands. So, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you could give a thumbs up on the video, I'd highly appreciate it, because it gives me motivation to make more videos for you motherfuckers that watch my motherfucking videos. This was just my opinion on how Destiny is gonna coexist inside of the same genre as Borderlands. And even though they're similar, they're not really. So, like I said, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys later.